Can you give me a little bit of description of what you're feeling when you're tensing up?
Whew. Okay, well, I guess that in middle range it's fine. It's okay. It's a little bit tense, but it's really in higher range. Um, Maybe we could try out
Sure, yes,
singing a bit higher
please.
so I can feel that. Let's see, like la 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 da da la 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 la. It just feels like there's something kind of stuck here, or like something's almost pulling me down. I don't know. It's very hard to describe, to be honest.
All right, interesting. So
Or maybe it just like closes like a
yeah,
clam.
okay. So the clam can come from the muscles around the throat, indeed. The pulling, I would guess, has to do with the tongue, because the downward feeling, that's what can come down and actually push on the larynx. It's the base of the tongue. So a part of what you can do to open the throat has to do with the tongue. Okay. So the first thing I would do before any kind of manipulation is that I would try to feel the space that is behind your larynx and behind your mouth and hopefully behind your nose. So this tunnel in the back that we know as the pharynx, that's basically the tunnel that continues your throat. And that's the first place, basically after your mouth or nose, that the air hits when it comes in. So let's try this right now, and everybody can try that with us. You can breathe either through your mouth or through your nose and see if you can feel anything at the back of your head. If you can feel the air hits there.
I feel like a cold air kind of, it's almost like where the soft palate is, I guess.
Yes, correct. So the soft palate is very close to the back of the mouth. So if you could pay attention to that place on your soft palate and see if you can feel anything further back than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some people it will take a few tries, and it took me a while as well. So it's okay if you have to try this for a bit. But once you start feeling this part, then you can start feeling the back of your throat as well and the connection between them. It doesn't feel cold to everybody as well, but you can feel the air, like the movement of the air. It's like a highway, right? Like that's where the airway is going. And if you can feel it moving through there, then it's probably open.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Very good. If on a certain day you don't feel it, or you don't feel it as much, the first thing I would do is try to get the tongue out from pushing it down on the larynx. And my favorite way of doing that is actually pointing the tip of the tongue down. And not just on the bottom teeth. I know a lot of teachers like bottom teeth, but put it a little bit further. So if it comes out on the other end, it will come out over here, and you have to watch if you're not watching. Just really like the bottom of your chin. So if the tongue would come out the other side, it will come out of there. So there are two really cool things that happen when you do that. First of all, you are thinking of pointing the tongue. Don't do it too actively, because then again, you're activating muscle. But if you're just pointing it there, it automatically releases your jaw. So that's just a side bonus. And then it helps the back of the tongue go up and away from the larynx. And then if you breathe through your mouth, I like, because it's just a quicker way of feeling it, you will be able to feel more space behind your tongue. And that's you establishing that open pharynx. And then you can go from there to feel the basically behind the larynx, behind the voice box. And it will be easier to do that. It's under that part of the tongue, the back of the tongue that you just pulled up. Now, it's very important to not do that stuff actively. So don't push the tip of the tongue down. Don't push the tip of the tongue up. It's more like thought directed.
So just to summarize, if you had to kind of bullet point what happens in here with your articulators? How would you describe this openness?
What happens in order is that you release the jaw and point the tip of the tongue down. That helps to pull the back of the tongue or the root of the tongue away from the larynx, the voice box. And that helps establishing the pharynx, which is the tunnel at the back of your nose, mouth, and larynx. And that's the space where also most of the resonance takes place. Yeah. So that to me would be the basics of having an open throat. Just not to have tension around it or on top of it, clear it up. And the way for you to know, that was another question of yours, how do I know that I do it right, is if you can feel the air moving.
All right.
You can feel the air in those spaces, and you can already do that, so that's a good sign.